Hello, chat. How we all doing today? Boy, let me turn on the music just a little bit. Also, Luna Rex, thank you for the subscription for 3 months. I appreciate that. As well as Nerdy, thank you for the sub at 19 months. I appreciate that. Thank you for that, chat. Before we get into stream, thank you, thank you. And also, Chaotic Orca, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders. We're just starting stream. For today, we're gonna try to finish up the parkour on Island as much as we can on stream, and then we'll hop over to legs.gg so I can show you all some of the builds that we have for the hideouts, because I worked on the hideout for those who haven't seen it. Let me switch over. There it is. Let's go music a little bit. There you go. But yeah, chat. So today's gonna be just a fun, pretty simple, pretty chill. We're gonna build. We're gonna be playing on Island. And we're just gonna hang out. You're playing the Dr. Rat train game? That's fun. Hope that went well. I don't have enough. Actually, hold on. I got a lot of crates, so I might have enough supplies for this. Maybe now. Nope. Well, I have not watched the Pokemon Direct, but I did see though from one video that the Gen 10 starters have been showcased and released. You run? Yep, all good. Thank you, Chaotic. Do I have these already? Probably. Yeah, alright. The parkour we go. But yeah, the Pom Bomb, yeah. I really hope the fire starter, which is Pom Bomb, stays on all fours and they don't make the quadruped Pokemon bipedal. Please, can we just have a Pokemon that stays on all fours for once for a while? It's been so long. It's not happening. Please, can that little dog fire Pokemon just stay on all fours? That's all I ask for, game. If you haven't yet, chat, you should go check out the new Pokemon for it. Gen 9 had? All of Gen 9's Pokemon either stayed on 2 legs or was from 2 to 4 legs. Yeah, Skeledirge is quadruped, yes, but it started as bipedal. I'm saying, can we just keep a Pokemon that stays on the same leg path the entire evolution? Yeah, totally real. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what it is with Nintendo and being like, oh yes, a Pokemon that starts on 2 or 4 legs cannot stay on 2 or 4 legs. It has to switch and not stay bipedal or quadruped. Oh no, I know. Like, I would love for it to be quadruped. I'm just hoping if they do make it bipedal, it still looks good. It probably will, but you never know. Crazy Octillery or an 80% Digimon. Yeah. Yeah. Like, Meowscarada looks good, but also it would be really cool if we just had a cat Pokemon that stayed on all fours. Also, Nameless, thank you for the resub for 2 months now. It gained arms and legs. Exactly. I feel like you could technically make a Dragonite a separate Evo and make the Dratini and Dragonair Evo line its own, like, evolution line because of how drastic the change is. Yes, we're talking about Pokemon because of Pokemon today. Not saying that they should, I'm just saying they could. Cool. Speaking of parkour chat, there was a evil thing of parkour for the daily like a day or two ago. And my goodness, it was rough. Like, basically, for context about the parkour, you're doing, like, corner neos, which isn't a bad thing, but you have to hit, like, 4 block jumps, and then you also have to hit this weird slab over top of the block that you're trying to land on, and so you have to jump early, but if you jump too early, you're gonna miss it. And so what people have been doing is they've been having the trap door flick the last jump because no one knows exactly how to do the proper way of doing it, so you have to basically trapdoor flick the ending. I almost found a lineup for it. I just can't get it consistent. Like, I know where to line it up. I just can't, like, have the setup right. Oh, dang it. I just realized I made that way harder for myself. I tried doing two trapdoor neos back to back for no reason. Don't know why I did that the first try. But you don't need to do it that way. Who gives? Update hidden ability. Yeah, now Mega Dragonite. Gen 1. For being Gen 1 for... Yeah. I'm excited. Look, I'm gonna be honest. The Pokemon Legend of ZA, cool Pokemon, cool Megas, cool concept design. I just have never been a fan of the battle system in those games. I love the catching. I love, like, the free roaming stuff. It's just the battle system just feels weird. It just felt weird. So I'm excited if what I'm really excited about is to see the actual abilities of the new Megas and how competitively viable and how strong they actually are, because in Legend of ZA, Pokemon just didn't have abilities. So we didn't really know what they were. And so I'm like, I want to see those. I want to see the cool abilities, because some Megas might have brand new abilities that have never been created yet. Bup, bup, bup. Yeah, also chat. few things happened while I wasn't streaming. First one, I bought 2 Pokemon cards. One of them has shipped, one for the other person to ship it. But they're 2 promo cards that I wanted. Hold on. So I bought the promo card of Charcadet from, I believe it was the most recent release of Pokemon cards with, I think, Ascendant Heroes, the Charcadet card. Bought that one. The other promo that I bought was, I learned about it a few days ago because I was curious to see what the 30th promo was going to be. But the 25th anniversary promo card is a really nice Dark Sylveon card. Galaxy, thank you for the reset for 6 months at tier 3 now. For 27 months in total, my geez. That is a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you, Galaxy. But yeah, so those 2 cards I bought because I really wanted them. I want to get back into buying a few more Pokemon cards here and there. Took a little bit of a break because I bought a decent amount and then TwitchCon and then stopped. But 30th anniversary, I want to see any nice arts. I've also, the market for the cards have kind of gone down because at the moment it'll probably raise back up because the 30th anniversary. But at the moment right now, scalpers have moved from Pokemon and have gone to like One Piece and Naruto and other like anime-based card games. So the Pokemon cards are kind of lower in pricing right now. Not all of them, but a decent amount. And so again, I don't care about the price of a card. I'd rather buy a cheap card that just has nice art on it than one that's like, oh, this card will sell a lot of money and later I'm like, I just want the nice artwork. Be more limited time. Yeah, give or take. Yeah. So might get some more cards soon. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We just want to look at pretty pictures. Yep. Like, if I pull a card, and it's a card that's, like, cool full art, and I don't really want it, yeah, I'm down to sell it. But at the same time, I like collecting the cards to look at. Yeah, today's Pokemon Day. So it's Pokemon Direct, and they showcased a bunch of their releases coming out. I'm throwing. But yeah, but then the other thing, chat, is I officially got my passport. Yippee! So that came in the mail the other day. Which, really nice, because I didn't expedite it. Which means if I paid extra money to get it expedited, it would have gotten here sooner. But it got here in like 2.5 weeks. Instead of like the 4 to 6 weeks that it was supposed to say, so... I have that, now I just have to figure out the whole new electronic, like, system that Europe is implementing to where you have to basically pay $25 or something to travel to Europe on as well every time you travel, something like that. I forget what it is, but yeah. Are you slinging your picture? It's just a photo. Of course, it's a passport photo, so like, please don't smile. Please just follow. I went the wrong way. Please follow these rules. And so I am just straight looking forwards and just looking outwards. And he got really mad at me. Exactly. And that's why I didn't. We can't like smile. Like I have like I don't look like I'm gonna kill somebody, but it is just like a neutral face. Like just a look. Passport photos are fun, yeah. Like some places you can, some places you can. You technically you're not supposed to like smile, but if I ever want to, when I shouldn't say if, when I update my passport in the years where it's like, please renew your passport every 10 to 15 years. When I do renew my passport, I might smile in it. I might not. I don't know. But it's just a passport. We just can't show teeth. That's probably why. Because I look too dead. I don't know. It's the DMV in which like any photo that you take for your driver's license or your passport is just, they just look like mugshots. Because it's literally you behind a white background. And they just say look forwards past the camera. And so you do that and you're not looking directly at the camera. They are in some sense, yeah, exactly. I just look neutral. Like, I just look like I don't care. That just sounds depressing, because it is. Like, I just look like I don't care. It's like, why do I have to get this photo is what it looks like. Also, interesting update for those that are getting a new passport or have this. I don't know. This is just new to me. So when I got my first ever passport when I was like a kid, when I was like 10, everything in the passport's like the paper book for the passport is paper, right? Interestingly enough, and I think it's just for counterfeits, so you can't counterfeit the identity of a passport, is that the information and the photo are all printed on like a laminated plastic card that is then like sewed into the book. So it's, you have your then everything else is paper. It makes it easy to get to that page too. Yeah, no, exactly. So it's just interesting. Because it's like the first or second page in the passport book, and then it's just a different texture, so you know where it is. So you just flip it open, see it, and then, oh, I probably can make that still, yep. Yeah, it's like a normal ID inside, but there's no color. It's all black and white as well. So everything is just all a black and white thing to it. There probably is a chip in it. I would not be surprised. Or like some card reader in it. Just to make it scan easier. Yeah, you can get a passport ID card instead of a book, but if you want to travel internationally, aka over the Atlantic or Pacific, you need the book. So the card is just extra. Because the passport book still works to travel to Mexico and Canada. There's also your shield in it, yeah. Yeah, the card's basically like a license, and it allows you to travel internationally to Canada and Mexico, but you can't use it internationally to travel overseas for some reason. I think also probably because it might be easy to replicate the card. in forgery than the entire book itself, and so that's why they require it. It's also a piece of plastic. Yeah. But, you know, so we're doing that. So those two things have happened, which is really cool. This way. And then also, chat, I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm working on something I think would be pretty cool for the channel at the moment. I'm brainstorming some stuff right now. It's still very early on in the process, but I'm brainstorming some stuff for the channel. Nope, did not. 0 ticked that instead of 1 ticked. See, I don't like the coconut one. Like, this core is always just so annoying to me. So we are skipping it for now. I think they've also... no. Yeah, no, Noxcrew updated... they did some patch notes the other day, and they've changed a bit of stuff for BattleBox. I think there's a new map, and then also they've nerfed a few kits, buffed a few kits, changed a few kits. Smells like tier 2 emotes? No. But yeah, they've, like, for example, one of the things that they've changed is the Spectre kit. You're now on 9 hearts instead of 10. So your base health is at 9 instead of 10. You still, when you die as Spectre, you go to half a heart, but your base health is at 10, so you die easier. Which, pretty interesting change. I think that they don't want to change the kit of Spectre too much, but they need to nerf it in some way because it is very strong. It's also interesting, chat, right? Like, a few days, I stopped doing a bit of PvP practice, just take a break for a few days, and I came back to it the other night. It's just to, like, not get in a full repetition. And I thought because I took a break for a few days that, my like, I'd be a little bit sloppy after taking the break. It's weird. I feel like I got better. In the sense of the past few times that after I came back to it and going, like, back and forth, my accuracy was improved. My, like, combos were... I feel like they're drawing sometimes. Like, yeah, breaks are good. It's just interesting that it pairs with gaming. Because you do that with working out, right? Like, if you train as an athlete or you train as someone who is working out consistently, a break is important because it'll... I missed the wrong jump. A break is important because it allows you... Nope. A break is important because it allows you to... Think again. It allows the muscles in your body to heal, which means when you come back to it, your muscles are stronger than they were before, right? And so it's interesting that that pairs with playing video games and when you practice something, because the muscle memory kicks in and it's way easier because you're not trying to think about doing it the entire time. Your muscles and like your pattern recognition is there. Like the next 10 times I'll get after the break. Yeah, it's very interesting. And so I don't know why. I was just, my combos were more accurate. I was W tapping to S tapping pretty easily. My hits were consistent. I did get a little bit of help from Nom. Not like maybe a week or two ago. Oh, this one. A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C. Oh, I missed it. Dang it. A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C D E. Really? A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C D E. Oh my goodness! I say the alphabet for this one just because it's the easiest timing for me. F A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C D E F A B C D E. Yeah, I don't know why. It just works. It's on a count of just like 4 to 5. So I'm getting things right, and when you come back after a break, you have a clear head with pressure. Yeah. But Nam was helping me a lot because I was trying to figure out my hit distance without getting hit first, and Nam just like put in my head like just hit sooner. Like press your left click sooner than what you normally think you'd be ranged in because of the recognition of you holding W forwards and then also registering that you're in range at the same time. So that split half second or whatever it is from your brain telling your muscle to press left click, it actually lines up perfectly with the fighting thing. But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for when Money SMP finishes, because that's when Floative said that he'd be able to lock in and help coach me. And so, and also at that point, he should be more recovered from his knee surgery stuff. So that'll be fun. That'll be good. So at the moment right now, I've just been keeping my basics warmed up enough for it. Alright, cool. And you know, since we're talking about PvP, let's play one game of BattleBox. Because why? I have not done BattleBox in a while. I don't know the new map, so this will be fun. Also, chat, I don't know why, but just one game, yeah. It's sort of like a cherry blossom Japanese-esque garden thing, I believe. But yeah, so I don't know why, but after watching the mid-offs, I don't want to do speed running so much, but I want to learn the tech for speed running, if that makes sense. I want to learn how to, like, 0 cycle in 1 cycle just for the fun of it. But that's the thing, I don't want to speed run. I don't want to do any, I don't want to try to, I want to learn Bastion routes, but I don't want to actually try to run a Bastion route for a speedrun time. I just want to learn the tech and not actually do the speedrunning for some reason. I think it'd be very funny if I don't ever do a proper speedrun time. 0 cycle means you can kill the dragon before it actually perches. 1 cycle means you kill the dragon when it perches once. Do another speed walk then. But like that's the thing though, right? Like I've never done a proper speedrun, but I think it'd be very funny if I learned speedrunning tank, but never actually do the competitive speedrunning. Because I don't know what my speedrunning time is. For those who don't know, early on to my streaming career, finding shortcuts in Minecraft, basically, I would sometimes do quote-unquote speedwalking streams with chat. Ooh, okay, this is a new one I have not played on Fusion Core. Ooh. What are the kits here? Yeah, Spectre. Ooh. Orb of Harming, Timed Orb of Harming. You know, we're gonna go Speedster, because why not? I need to remember I can't crit with this. We're all gonna get a little bit of speed. Boop. Ooh, very big map. Very, very big map. A lot of different high elevation. Oh, that was weird. Oh, dang it. Don't know why every time I tried breaking that block, it just wasn't breaking for some reason. Very nice teammate. But yeah, so for those who don't know, I used to do a thing called speed walking early in stream, where I would just open up a random hardcore world, and I would just go and talk the chat, and then just go beat the Ender Dragon normally in hardcore in one stream, which was very funny. Yeah, if I ever got better village luck, then things would be different. But because of that, right, one ding to there. I saw someone on left side, yeah. Cool. I'll take the assist there for that. Kill you. And kill you. Cool. Like I said, accuracy, better. Nothing crazy, but better. Yeah, also, my luck in those runs was abysmal when I was speedwalking to the Ender Dragon. Chat, imagine spawning in a tundra, then walking in a frozen ocean for an hour and seeing barren landscape all around. Yep. I'm just gonna place it. They're just floating in the air. Like... Yeah, right now at 2-2. Or it's 3-0. I got 3 kills, 1 death, 2 assists. I'll take it. I'm just talking to chat right now. I keep forgetting to turn that on quickly. There we go. Okay, you still got it. Again, he's on left side. They went up, up. I don't know if there's actually a water-based circuit thing. Alright, cool. Yeah, because BattleBox has been so ingrained into me now, my keybinds have been very easy to try to get back into. Like, we have a teammate that's going 8-0. I'm going 5-1 with 2 assists. I'll take it. We're just vibing right now, so. Yeah, PvP has been paying off. I missed my shot there. Got that one, though. And you, so you're dead there. That was some lag. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'll take 4 assists there. Yippee! 5, 1, and 4. I like that map. That map's nice. And we go up 60 points. Cool. Like I said, PvP has gotten better. Hits have been a bit more consistent. Accuracy has improved. Hitting faster has gotten better. And I've been starting to incorporate F5 into my PvP when I'm running around the map more. Just to get more of a surrounding area. So, overall, PvP has improved, and so that's why I'm excited for when I actually get coached by floatives, because I think it will help me a lot. So. Any of this? Nope. I have any of this? I have a key. Oh, hold on. 3, 4, 5, and then nothing else. Cool. Alright. We'll go back to parkour. It's just 6 and 1. And I think I know why, and it's because of the annoying hard endings. A lot I need to improve on. Honestly, just... Oh, it's this one. That's why. Hold on, let me try to remind myself of this. Fatal! Thank you for the 5 community gifted. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Well, also 50 stream streak, jeez. And too big of a map for my liking. I like it. it's more open, but so basically you have a line of sight of everywhere on that map, and so it's not impossible to. This is the part that I need to figure out how to do. Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. It felt nice just because for once you're not. Can I just? I mean, you could. It'd just be like almost impossible though. It feels nice because every other battle box map there is enough cover to where sometimes you lose track where somebody is. But if you, I'm gonna see if I do it this way, will this work? But if you're able to like have a good awareness, use F5 to like look around and kind of just see where enemies are and keep track of where your teammates are, it's good. It also feels nice because it allows being able to use the bow more consistently instead of just only being able to use it for long range. There has to be a way where I can just jump from here and like do it that way. I think that's what I have to do. I think I have to momentum jump it from this corner, looking that way without snagging the edge of the block, which is going to be annoying. Because I don't know the actual lineup for this. I need to figure it out. Yeah, like, I need to be closer. That's the other thing. I need a closer gap for it. Almost. Yeah, it's like you have to momentum that. You have to momentum that jump. Or it's like just a perfectly timed 4-block jump that is practically impossible without momentuming it. Which is very, because that's what is that? 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh yeah, it's basically a 4-block jump. And you're jumping on a trapdoor of all blocks, so the timing is even shorter than what you think it is. Okay. See, the issue is, as soon as I learn what the setup is for this, it's easy. I just don't know what the setup is. And so this is what we've come to the conclusion of. What if I just stay on this side of the block and I just inventory jam that way? How would that work? Parkour is suffering. Parkour is learning something new every single time when you're learning parkour. You're constantly learning something, especially with hard parkour, how to do a proper setup. Now, a lot of it can be fixed. I just fell. a lot of it can just be averted by just doing a inventory jam. Like, a lot of setup can just be done by an inventory jam. It's just the placement of where you do said setup is what matters. So this person is going to run straight and fault. Yep. Making it look easy. And that's because they do it a lot. Like, I do parkour a decent amount of times, but I also don't do it enough to where it's like I just instantly know how to do this jump. Because it's not always on island. So the idea of going from here to here, inventory jamming, and doing that is doable. I just have to figure out whatever the point is that I actually have to land on. So let's start with, let's say it's this pixel right here. Nope, that's too far forward. All right, so we go back one. Like, a lot of the time it is just like placement. Actually, let's not go all the way back. Let's go here. There. Let's go 1, 2. 1, 2 taps forwards. Almost. So not quite though. Let's go there. That, I believe, was too far forward. All right, so we gotta go back more. See, this is the issue with parkour. There probably isn't a simpler lineup for this, but I'm just doing it this way. Opening your inventory basically allows you to not move. So a jam is when you press W and space at the same time and you basically zero tick, which is pretty much you are pressing your W and spacebar at the same time. A 1 tick is you are pressing W for 1 tick, then pressing spacebar. 2 tick is you're holding W for 2 ticks and pressing spacebar, so on and so forth, right? When you open up your inventory, you can press W and space at the same time, and then when you close your inventory, the game automatically inputs the W and space key at the same time. So what that does, it takes all the human error out of it. And so that's why. Like, it's somewhere here. I don't think that's it though, unfortunately. I think I have to like not inventory jam and like go from here and just jump, and at the peak of my jump, then press W. Keyboard gambling. Yeah. That's what it is. Okay. So with that, you can't inventory jam it, which means you basically have to jump And when you're at the very peak of your height, you then press W with your sprint toggled off. So you're not sprinting, so you're just walking forwards. And then as soon as you hit the ground, you then input your sprint toggle, which would then allow you to, as you're falling, to momentum jump forwards. Return, welcome back. Yeah, after we get this done, we'll head over to like .gg, look at the builds that have been made, and then probably work on another hideout. Hideouts have just been nice. Oh, we actually might work a little bit on the Pale Garden, just to finish that. Up. This music is very, like, AAA video game showcase. Like, I would see this in an extraction shooter montage, showcasing a game. Am I a wizard? Nope. I am just an average guy. I wouldn't say average. I'm just a guy. That's what a wizard would say. Level 25 commoner. No, actually, this is very funny. What was it? Leg stream last night. I don't know how we got on the topic, but again, I am Legs chat. One didn't realize that, not all of them, but some of them didn't realize that I was neurotypical and straight, which is very funny. And because of that, Shauna goes, yeah, most neurotypical are just NPC people. But Abolish is different. Abolish I'm chill with. When I found that very, very funny. But you are built different. No, I know. I just find it funny because my response was, yeah, I'm just a dude who basically just found the how-to guide and the cheat book and put in the cheat codes for me. Rocking with Abolish because Abolish is rocking with us. Yep. Basically. Which is very, very, very funny. Let's I need to hold that longer. I don't have it perfect, but I do have the... There it is. And I fell. I do have at least the jump now down. I just have to hold my W key more. Nope, I actually did that wrong. Straight in this time and age, never heard of it. I know, crazy. But yeah, no, that late night build streams are some of the most chaotic and funny streams from Legs of Subathon. Is its own from an atypical MC spaces. Yeah, oh yeah, no, I am in the MCYT space. Me is basically the minority in the community that I am in like in the space that I am for the MCYT space, which is very, very funny. I am the token. The thing is, though, MCYT space is very big, so you have creators who are just straight white men that play Minecraft, and so like that space in general in the Minecraft space is not small. It's just the space that I am in particular, like the sub bubble in the MCYT space that I am in. It is small, if that makes sense. Because like Minecraft as a whole, there is a lot of just straight white men that play Minecraft because it's a video game and that's just what they do. But like in the like SBK, POW Creations, so on and so forth, that type of space, there are some just straight white men, but it's not the majority, right? So I am the diversity hire. Buy Block Kingdom for a reason. That's clever. That is very clever. The B in SBK is Buy Block. That's good. The neurotypical people in the probably that as well. I don't think there's a lot of neurotypical people in the Minecraft space. But like I've never had an official assessment in making sure that I am quote unquote neurotypical. But anytime my friends have taken one of those online tests, every single time that it's like, oh, do you have ADHD or do you have some form of autism and so on and so forth, every time I've taken it with them, if we're in like a VC call, every single time that it is like if a 6 or higher is the number scale of possibly having it, I am always like a 1 or a 2. It makes our job rare. I've just liked video games not growing up. Oh yeah, no, they are the least reliable tests ever. But just every single time that I've taken it, it's just always been consistently that it has said XYZ. Now I have taken a psychological test in psychology in psychic class, like a proper one, and that was great information. But even then, nothing it stemmed towards anything that would be neurodivergent. There we go. Lovely, figured it out. he seems pretty neurotypical to me. Yeah, like you can't like, and there's also scaling of how much someone is neurodivergent, neurotypical, but like, who can really say without official assessment? And now I just have this one. So, like, here's the thing, right? As someone who considers themselves neurotypical, I don't know what the difference would be, if that makes sense. Like, I know what it feels like to be neurotypical, but I also don't know what the difference is between someone who's neurotypical and someone who's neurodivergent in the thinking and process of stuff. To realize they aren't yet, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know what the difference would be. Yeah, it depends on type of neurodivergency, exactly, but it's different from person to person. But like I said, don't fully know. It's just everything that I have done and that I have. I think here's the thing, right? I am neurotypical, but because of growing up in the groupings that I was with, right? So, for example, like I said, growing up, I had an IEP for individual educational programming stuff through middle school and elementary school, right? And so the kids that I was in with those classes were neurodivergent. I just was slower at learning. But because I then graduated out of those classes, I then was with a round of a lot of neurotypical people. So then going into high school, I was the kid that kind of just was good with everybody in the sense that I could just interact and group with and just talk. I wasn't the popular kid, but I just could be friends with the popular kid, if that makes sense. Because I was just chill with everybody in high school. So any group that I would like see or talk, I would talk to them for a little bit. And so I kind of just learned and like figured out how people are and what people enjoy and how people act. And so because of that, going through high school, I also did sports. So I understood how sports kids were. I had friends who were in band. I had friends who enjoyed art. I was in media stuff. I was friends with student council members. So like any type of grouping that was in high school, I had a few friends in those groups. And so I would always just know those groups. And they know me. And so it's just this like kind of just float around and see what people are up to. A bit of jack of all trades of all of them. Yeah. So like I understand, and I think that's why I am different compared to people, other neurotypical people, especially in this space when people are like, wait, you're neurotypical. It's because I can relate and have a conversation with people who are neurodivergent and be on the same wavelength and match their energy and so on and so forth in settings because of how I grew up. Which I never had a time staying on one topic and talking despite being off topic. Yeah, I know I don't have ADHD because I can multitask multiple different things. I know I can focus on one thing if I need to. I can do a bunch of different tasks. I can work on one thing. Someone says, you can help me with XYZ, help them with that, then go back to what I do. So, like, I know I don't have ADHD, whatever. I think when I was a kid, I had a bit of OCD, but nothing to like the extreme of like if something was off-centered, I wasn't freaking out. The thing that I did, and what my parents always called it, was I would play Jenga in the grocery store. Or not Jenga. What's Tetris in the grocery store. So whenever I was a kid and I would go grocery shopping with my parents, I would try to minimize the amount of airspace in the grocery cart. And I would do that just because I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that like with like supermarket testers. Yeah, that's something that I would do, but that's the closest thing to OCD. Like I like things organized, but it's nothing to the extent of if something is not organized or off-centered or whatever, it annoys me. I just have organized space. So that would be the closest thing to OCD. I know there's something with like smells. I know when I was younger, and it still happens a little bit, but like if we went down the detergent aisle, I would just always have a very strong like sensitivity to detergent softener and such. And so like I could smell it really strong. And so growing up, I still have like it's still strong, but like when I was little, it would make my eyes water a little bit and such, just because of how strong it was to me. But now not as much. OCD is also a very big spectrum. Exactly. So again, I don't know if I would even consider if I have a lot of OCD or if it's just a little bit and it's just small things. But yeah, I can do social cues as well. I think I might just be the mix I have. I just understand how people interact, like when to, what, and also a lot of time I find really hard was when building for Minecraft are not even. Yeah. So like building in Minecraft, I think asymmetry is a good thing for buildings. I think when it's just fully off-centered, yeah. But the more confusing it gets. That makes sense. You know, but I can understand and read people very well. Like, I can have small talk, I just hate doing small talk, just because it's boring. Like, I'd rather have someone talk about something they're interested in and then go build off of that instead of being like, oh, so how long have you known XY? Like, if you're at, like, a party and then you meet someone for the first time, you're like, oh, so how long have you known XYZ? Or where did you meet XY? It's like, yeah, cool. But if we can, like, find a common interest and just start talking about it, I'd much rather do that. Like, I don't mind it, I just don't want to do it. Like, small talk is just something that just bores me. Like, for example, when my friend turned 21, I was at his house, and he works out a lot and such, and so he had a bunch of friends that he met at the gym. And so when I met them, they're like, oh yeah, I met, his name was Mark, met Mark through doing gym stuff. I'm like, oh, you enjoy the gym. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, that's the connection point that I can make. And we start talking about gym stuff. And like, at that point, you can just, like, that's the intro portion. Like, the small talk can just be gym, but it's something that, like, both people can, like, relate to. It's way easier. You can't too much easier to discuss. Yeah, exactly. Like, the other thing in a social setting, if you don't know how to, like, if you don't know what to say to somebody when you're trying to have a small talk conversation, right? Like you're just introduced, you just start small talk, whatever, right? The best thing you can try to do is one, not end your answer or not let them end their answer with like a yes or a no, but have them explain it. And if it's something that they are interested in, let them be the ones to speak. Because people love to talk about their interests, and people love to talk about themselves. So if you can start a conversation with them talking about their interests that they enjoy and the things that they do and such, and you can then find a common interest from what they're saying, it is really helpful. Applying interview tips from media, I see it. Yep. For 1 hour and a half to my friend, I don't trust myself with doing small talk comments with people I don't know well. That's the other thing, is if you're talking to someone who you think is neurotypical or someone that you have no idea about and you're worried about like talking too much to them, you can talk about an interest that you enjoy, and the best thing to do is at a certain point of the conversation, if you both like something, right? For example, let's say it's Five Nights at Freddy's, right? You can talk about the overview of FNAF, like just the overview of what it is. People actually don't always think yeah, it's crazy. And what you can do is just talk about it. If they're like, oh yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I like video games. You're like, oh, what video game stuff? And like, oh, I like some first-person shooters and some horror games. Like, oh, like you like horror? Oh, I like FNAF, and I think FNAF's pretty cool because of X, Y, Z. Da 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 da. What do you think of FNAF? X, Y, Z, like that. And at that point, you can then understand where they're coming from and how much detail you want to go even into it more. Right? Like, there always needs to be a point where the person who is talking needs to ask the other person, what do you think of what I am saying? So interaction can happen. And it allows a connection to be built. You don't need to talk normally about your interests, but you need to have a pause somewhere where you speak, where you can ask them what they think about it. Because you sometimes do need that dialogue in there to have that conversation stem not just from small talk, but go into like a full-blown conversation. Like, going back to the 21st birthday, right? Here in the US, when you're 21, you're legally allowed to drink. But I am someone who has never drank alcohol. I am someone who will never do drugs or do any type of vape or anything like that. That is just something that I am not, I don't need, I don't like want to do personally, but if someone else does it, that's all them. Right? So being at a party where you're 21, a lot of people do drink, I always got asked the question, hey, so are you not going to drink? And I tell them no. I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's not my thing. And like, you've never had, you like, you don't want to, or like, and I'm like, no, it's like, I told myself I'm never going to drink alcohol. I'm never going to do any drugs or vape or anything like that. Right? And I've had that conversation with a few people just because, one, it sets up a like, hey, it sets up this just like boundary interaction where people are like, hey, we're not going to try to push this onto you because you don't want to do it. That's fine. It's all good. And so people just know that. But what's fun about it is it stems from them people also then asking me the question of like, oh, so why, right? So why do you not want to do that. And I'm like, it's just something that I prefer. It's just I care, like am really cautious of my health and so on and so forth. Da 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 da. And you have fun interactions with people because I remember one girl made the comment, and this was like 2 a.m. in the morning. Most people have left, and we're all just like vibing. And she goes, "So you're basically a unicorn." As the and that was just the start of the conversation. And I'm like, what do you what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do drugs or weed or anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's just something I don't want to do. And he's like, yeah, most people our age don't do maybe at least one of those things. I never met anybody who hasn't done at least one of those things before. Right. And so doing that conversation, how is that shocking? Because neurotypical people, that is something very normal for neurotypical people, is that they will either go into a group setting, a party, and there might be alcohol, there might be something like weed or vaping or some type of recreational use stuff. And so it's pretty normal for, especially in a social gathering, to just socially drink or so on and so forth. So you lead in the conversations like that, so it's fun. And that's a fun conversation and a fun connection that I had with that person. Was they thought I was basically a unicorn because of how I just like care for my health. And so after that point, we just started talking more about like just stuff in general. So I had diagnosed with a high IQ. Zayd, why are you gifting me 10 gifted? I appreciate it, but you didn't have to do that for the unicorn. Thank you for that. Alright, chat. Nope, and there you go. Killera, thank you for the sub with Prime. Thank you. Welcome on in. Welcome to the community. Yeah, Shauna built a skull last night as well. It's going to be added somewhere. Don't know where, but somewhere. Probably in Swamp Biome or something. Yeah, so last night, I basically helped put out a bunch of trees everywhere. And then we're going to need to add rocks, so that's what we're going to do next, is start adding all the rocks in the Pale Garden. Ad remind me I forgot to do that. Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, basically we're gonna add a bunch of rocks. I've planted the rocks down here so I can make stamps of them. We're gonna go through each one, stamp it, and then go from there. I need to now actually real quickly break all this. Just so I don't actually copy and paste it. You don't repeat the trees. Yeah, no. We figured out why the trees were having issues. It's because of how they were built in the sky. And have these bits here, right, that are hanging. When you copy and paste it, you're also copy and pasting the air. So it's taking this as the lowest block and basically everything down here. And so when it was pasting it like this. always. So I basically went on through and I just broke all those little patterns off because we fixed them all, and I flattened them all out on the bottom with a lot of these to fix it. And was it VTP? World. Nope. Prefab. Welcome back to the prefab world. I need to fly this way. Voice work? Maybe, I'm not too sure. But welcome to the assets world. I want to show y'all the hideouts, the new hideouts that have been made. So these are the hideouts, for those who don't know, that you will basically be able to buy, which helps monetize legs.gg, or you'll be able to find some of them depending on how they are. The Dark Souls one is done. It's right there. I'm just going to show everyone that is new here what's being made so far. So this one I made, which is basically a little like shout out connection to my ARG lore. So it has a big rift, void glass ceiling portal. Uses amethyst crystals, energy, all that very void sci-fi punk. Are the void sub badges? Yeah, it's basically the sub badges are like a rift forming, and so at tier 1 it starts a little bit of a crack, and then like 3 months in it then breaks up more, and then 6 months starts breaking more, and then towards the end where you see like which the one Antari has, which is basically just a full blown portal. And that's sort of the idea, is it kind of starts to expand bigger and bigger as like a rift in a portal is forming. So that's what the badges are. They aren't necessarily related to lore, but it's like how rifts form. Founder's gonna get to be in lore, yeah, because you guys get the Founder's badges. It's a really cool concept, it's fun. So this is mine, and then Legs built this one, which is very simple. It's gonna be funny. These early ones that you see they look very minimal compared to the new ones that we've made. So if you want an ancient city design, this is this one. And then Beck did this one, which is a magical library-esque with floating candles and light orbs and so on and so forth. And then I'm gonna wait for that one. Then Shauna made this one, which is very pink cottagecore, which is very cool. Nice and cottagecore vibe. And then Jay made a big red grand hall, which also has the reflective glass design, which is basically the entire structure flipped on its head, separated by some glass to make it look like it's being mirrored, which gives like a little bit of a trippy feel to it. And then Legs made another one, which is underwater design that is like coral and fish and so on and so forth. And then Peeporp made this medieval one, very, very castle themed. Love the motion with the smoke and the design of the chandeliers. I really like how those look. Very castle-esque, really nice. Yeah, basically the player is like a vampire in here. You can be like vampire themed, medieval themed, whatever you want. It's very theming to that. And then I don't know if this is Derpy. All right, so Derpy made this one. So Derpy made this one, which is again, it's more Fae-esque. It's Fae cottagecore almost. Like crystal in the air. You have all this around, really nice. So far, all of these have felt pretty similar, right? Like, lack of player reflection is Grand Hall. Oh, right, yeah, because it's like vampire. Because, okay, I see. All of these so far have kind of still felt the same size, right? Even Jay's kind of still has that same feeling of being in the same space, right? Pretty normal to like the base design, right? Like if this is the default base design, if this is the default, actually, this is the default. If this is the default one, right? All of these ones so far have been basically like a retextured, reskinned designs to them, right? They feel pretty much similar, different but similar to the base design. And then we started to get a little bit more creative, as we see, like, for example, even this one, still similar, a bit more creative, though, with the structures that were getting put into place. But because of how these on the sides feel, and how these are incorporated, it feels still pretty similar, right? But a bit more creative. Even the medieval one, very medieval, feels very medieval themed, but because of the design and where they are bigger than the current hideout. They are the exact same size. Because this is the current hideout layout. I believe. It might be bigger, but it might be bigger. This might be bigger for season 2. No, actually it is bigger for season 2, because season 1 is like half of this. It's like this quarter's removed. But yeah, basically it's bigger than the season 1. But then we started to get a bit more creative on what we were doing, right? So this one, Jay did a Christmas themed for Christmas. Now it still feels roughly the same, right? It still feels roughly the same in like the theming with how everything is placed in that. You got the roof ceiling, different, but more Christmas feel, Christmas vibe. So if you want a Christmas themed hideout, especially for the Christmas season, there's one right here. And then Cinna decided to go a little bit differently. And it feels a bit more different, right? And this one starts to feel more different because now this Cinna wanted to go more Hobbit home, because Cinna enjoys Lord of the Rings. And so now we get into a feeling that it feels small, but it's the same size. It's just that there's now walls in between everything, and the roof is lower. Because the roof was here. So basically, it's just 1 to 2 blocks lower, and everything feels more enclosed. So you feel like you're actually in a Hobbit home. Because of different rooms. Exactly. So, and everything is still the same. And then Rusty right now is still building, but Rusty Courage is doing a lushed cave. And with Rusty as well, since we have like no height requirement on like, I think we go up 100 blocks, Rusty is making a second floor for decoration where there's not going to be anything up here. But you're going to be in feels like a cave. Because of you basically have to stay within the dimensions of this, but enough to where it's going to feel very cave-like, right? And then Shauna, again, then went full Western, and now you feel like you're not so much in a hideout as much as you are in a Western mesa. You still have the slabs. We still have the rails. You have a saloon with a bar. We also made a little skull face here. I suggested the eyes to be bone blocks, so got a full skull here. We got a saloon portion. You got your lore book here. And you got your... Oh, you got your cauldron here, which is your trash can, which is built in. And then the ender chest is right here, which you can reach. So it's very open concept. And all these are barrier blocks, so you can't leave any of this. All this is entirely just barrier blocks for where you can and cannot go, right? So you can't get out, but it feels open. It feels very, very open. And then there's mine. Hold on, I am going to close my game real quickly. Actually, we're just gonna go to a black screen real quick. We're just gonna fade to black. Just so I can set this up right. Right there. I'm gonna pull up a little bit more of like, hold on, Dark Souls. I want to fit the theming of this just so y'all can see this. No, I need like dark ambient. Yeah, this work. The Stain of Age. There we go. Welcome. I'm gonna put on normal. Into the Dark Souls room. This is what you would first be seeing every single time you spawn in here. Gonna go back to my 90. So, in here, right, we have the woodland trees that are like in Dark Souls that kind of break through the buildings. You have the entire structure destroyed. You have your storage here, ender chest here, your cauldron with like a little smithing area with the cracked anvil. The terminals have to be the same, so I can't change the terminals. And then if you turn around, that's your lore room. This is where you could read all the lore about extraction. There's a second floor, just a little library, because it fits within the extra space that is in here. And then there's just all this opening and like ruins and nothing else to it. Yeah, I wanted to make this feel like when you look up into the sky, it doesn't feel like you're in a box. It feels like it's just the night sky above you, with the only things that are being lit and creating light are the campfire, the light inside that's lit over the lectern, and then the cauldron for the little smithing area. It is pitch black because it is all just black concrete powder, very, very high up. But because of the angle that I have everything set up at, it is basically impossible to tell if there's actually night sky or not. And with shaders, it looks even darker. Actually, do I have shaders? No, I don't. That's fine, though. Actually, let me install shaders real quickly. Let me install shaders real quickly. Give me a second, chat. Let's see what shaders look like. Let's do complementary reimagined, of course. Let's do BSL shaders, of course. Let's do Solaris. Or Solas. Let's do Bliss. We'll do Spooky Elementary. And let's do Pegasus, because that's new. Void, yeah. Night is dark. Yeah, there's no sky. There would be no stars. If I could add a fog effect above, I would. But also, we are on a. It's a Java slash. I can install Insanity. Oh, can I not? Oh, I don't think I can. I can't because we are on. It's locked to 1.10. Because of the mod pack. I would have to install it manually. So it's fine. We don't need it right now. We don't need them right away. Shame. But we have like 5 shaders that we can look at. So is it just I'm just gonna put this on repeat and have it turned down a little bit. Yeah, so let me put on shaders pack. We're gonna start with we're just gonna go down the line in alphabetical order. This is Bliss shaders. Apply. Give it a second. We'll see how Bliss shaders work with this. Ooh. My frames are at 55% right now, but you know what? That's fine. Gives almost this slight fog texture. The black is a lot more black. And the dark is a lot more blue. So it's not just like a gray tone, it has like this bluish feel to it. What happens if I hold a torch? How would that look? Yeah, the darks get dark with shaders, which I think is good. But it also, like, in normal Minecraft, the, like, dark, it has, like, a gray tint. This has a blue tint to it. So that's nice. I like it. All right. And we're going to disable, go back to normal. Again, this is normal. So, like, the bluish feel is now more of a gray tone. So now let's go to BSL shaders. Waiting. BSL, not too much of a difference. There is a slight fogginess to it. Brightens up a little bit of the grays. But it's not too much of a difference. Yeah, I will try solos. I'm going to go through all of them. Yeah, not too bad for that one. All right, let's go to complementary, the main one that most people use. Again, brightens up, a lot more lighting, a lot more shadows to lighting of color. The glow helps with pertain more of a glow to certain things. Anyways, thank you for the community gifted sub. It's simple. This one isn't too much. There's not much of a difference with this one compared to the base shaders, but it does help very easy, and also complementary is very lightweight, so like it doesn't worry too much. I actually want to see what complementary looks like with this. Ooh, you can actually see that all way better. A lot more bright. Hold on, if I go back to Bliss, how does Bliss look? Ooh, whoa. That is very bright. Oh, wow. And then BSL? BSL is like a good middle ground. Keeps the darks and the shadows, but it amplifies the lighting. Owen, welcome in, Raiders. I'm just showing chat the hideouts that you can get that we are building right now for leg.gg extraction. And it's something that Legs will be able to monetize or find. Oh. Oh, and Cleo raid. Double raid. Well, welcome on in, Raiders. Oh, and Cleo raid. Well, welcome on in. I thank you. Thank you for the raids. Hope you all had a wonderful time with stream. But yeah, so right now we are building hideouts. Just will you showcase everything. So this one I built a few days ago. We're not doing Cyberpunk. I actually made a Souls-like Dark Souls one, which I'll show y'all. But also, Mila, thank you for the resub for 2 months now. Except for 22 months in total. Yeah, so I made this one. This one is tied to my ARG lore that I've had as a creator. And so it has like different SMPs that I've been a part of. So like this one is Cowboys. So you got TNT and RP and Apple. You got vampires over here with like a silver block and a beacon. You got the Wither challenge that I did. There's a Warden thing up here with an Ender Dragon for Termina. Over here is both Christmas SMP and then MCC for MCC Rising. And then that, because like the whole, also Duckcraft with the Cherry Blossom Tree. And so like my whole thing with my ARG lore, for those who don't know, is portals and rifts that affect certain things, traveling to and from, and so on and so forth. And so when the start of it all, there were these massive portals and rifts. And so I wanted to do that and explain it in the way of like traveling and such. And so no one's ever figured out the ARG lore yet. And so this is just a fun little tie into it. But we've been building a bunch of them. So like here's now an ancient city one that Legs did. Beck then did this one, which is a mage academia library. Really nice. Legs then also made a underwater like aquarium one, which is really cool. I love the water reflection coming from this. This is super nice with these shaders. And then Jay did a reflective glass one where basically the floor to the ceiling is like a mirror and it reflects based off of it because it's just a massive thing flipped on its head. And then Shauna did a pink cottagecore vibe, which is really nice. And then Rusty Courage right now is building a 2-story, this is not going to be a Pages decoration, but a 2-story underground lush cave. And then Jay made a Christmas one, another Christmas, or Christmas vibe theme. So if you want a Christmas one, there's a Christmas one. Cinna did a Hobbit hole, which is basically just very Hobbit, Lord of the Rings vibe to it. And then Shauna did a Mesa Desert Western theme. And lastly, mine that I finished last night, or not last night, but the night before, is I made a full Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Souls-like themed room. So every time you spawn, you always face south. So I entity'd in the campfire sword that is in Dark Souls, so that when you touch, it basically sets your spawn point. So that is the first thing you always see in here. And then when you look up, I wanted to design it, and to where when you look up into the sky, the night sky, it doesn't feel like you're in a box, but it feels like it is just internal night outside. And so I have set up black concrete in a way that when you look up, it doesn't matter where you look. It feels like it is nighttime. Now, if you have night vision, a little bit different, but it is something fun. But yeah, so we're going through shaders right now to see how they look. Just because we wanted to see. So, complementary doesn't change too much. Makes it a bit brighter in here, but it is a really nice. And we're going through all the shaders so you just see how this room feels if people are using shaders. You can use Nether Star with item frames. If I wanted to use a Nether Star, what I could do, I don't know where I would use a Nether Star. I mean, if you're talking about like stars in the sky. Hold on, nope, I need an item. I can take those technically, and I could make small and like put those in the sky. The issue is, one, we can't have a lot of entities just because it is depending on player, because the server is for both Java and Bedrock, so each room has like a max of 8 roughly entities that can be put into it. And if I placed a bunch of Nether Stars around here, they wouldn't give off light, and they kind of would just clutter. Right, because it would just be like that. And the issue is with stars is even though if I place these here, I mean, that isn't that bad. The issue is because of how games are, there's not really any depth perception, so you can't blur stars. You know what I mean? I mean, I could put a few in, possibly. Like, it doesn't look bad. If I do hidden item frames, maybe. And, like, I just... very sparse. The other thing is we're using shaders, so we have to keep in mind with shaders off, that's what they're going to look like. It's not so much that bright white glow that they have, it's with shaders that's kind of making it. And so that's also the unfortunate thing. It's a good idea, though. I wish that you could make them glow, but also players aren't all going to be using shaders, because it's also on Bedrock. They fit the dark vibe more, but I don't know. There's just something about it just being pure black. End roof, I've tried end roof. The issue with the end roof is the end portal void texture is a background, and if I tried spawning in end portal frames, they are a flat block like a carpet, and so they don't cover the sides. And so I've tried it because an N looks really nice. An N roof above the sky looks really, really nice. It's just if I need to have it here, if they were full blocks, great. The issue is they aren't full blocks. So, like here, I'll do this just to show. Slash set block here. Hold on. Let me get my paintbrush. Let's go. M portal. I'm gonna make this really small just to show. If I do that. One, it also leaves light in everywhere, but it looks good. It looks cool. It's just, it's also not a full block. It's a half block. And so that's why this just feels better. Now, if Nether Stars could be, like, actually had a proper shine to them, and, like, I could space them out, like, one there, one there, one to there, one to there, one to there, right? Like, if I'm able to space them out like this, it doesn't look bad, because if they had that shine, it'd be really nice. It's just because of how lighting is in Minecraft and doesn't actually glow unless it has a shader on it, is the issue. Also, I don't know if this would glow by itself or not, and even with just the shaders that I have, so... Would they grow with other item? Not really, because like glow frames, all glow frames does just creates the item frame and have a glow in the center. It's not so much the actual glow itself. Thing with end rods is end rods give a lot of light, and so when you do that, you can see where the ceiling is. Because when you look at it at an angle, you can tell that it's just connected to the ceiling. So that is why. I like the pure black, personally. Personally, I feel the pure black just feels really nice. If I could, and I would if I was able to, if I could add a fog layer from one end to the other, and it's just a very light fog of like this, of the cloud skyline, and I could make it XYZ opacity, it then would look really nice, because then there'd be a texture of movement above. Tinted glass does not work because of the connection that tinted glass has. Because in normal Minecraft, there's these lines here, and it looks really bad because all you just see are the lines primarily. Trust me, I've tried tinted glass, I tried the void effect, I've looked into other ways. If Axiom has a way to make clouds, like a fog cloud layer, let me know, because I would gladly put a slight fog layer, just one block up here, to make it look like it's like a cloudy night sky. You can do end portal under concrete. The thing, again, the thing with end portals is, I'm going to show this right here. End portal. That. It's not a full block. It's a half block. It's not even a half block. It's like a layer of carpet. It has to cover everything. It's just a flat block that is used to create stuff. It's only horizontal, it's not vertical. Trust me, if it was vertical, I would do what you guys like would say there and have like a block behind it and do it that way. So it makes some people dizzy. It would. But like, okay, hold on. Can I add clouds? Can I add fog in Axiom in Minecraft with Axiom? No, I don't. I don't want to create a cloud. I want to make the idea of cloud. The thing with Skulk, and once again, you can't really tell that there's like no difference. It's just a texture thing at that point. With Portal Wall, that's with custom commands. That is a custom command thing that, if you're talking about how you made a portal, like, thing with particles and that, it's custom commands. It's command blocks. Firefly bushes, it would have to be... Hold on. I'm gonna see something real quick. Yeah, it's gonna break, so I need to have a grass block. Because it needs to be dark. Does that make Firefly? No, it does not. But we might actually have a way to fix this. Hold on. I put a grass block here. Firefly bush. And then I cover this. How does that look? Not bad. But the issue is that they aren't consistent. It's only when you are near it is when it starts making it. But being down here is too far away. Oh, so let me change the music real quick. There we go. Would start move on. No, I'm saying that if you're too far away, it disappears after a while. Like that. And the movement isn't terrible. Also the M portal frames aren't like full stationary, but I want to see if I can do something real quick. Hold on. Can I just get the... It'll be via command block. Because like if I'm able to technically get the particles from a firefly bush, I could then take the firefly bush, stretch it out, move it, and then layer it in the sky. And now it'd be like little tiny lights. Thing with Spore, it would be a green texture. So that's what you would be seeing. It's a lot of green. If it was gray, wonderful. I want to try something real quick. Where's the biome painter? Badlands? No, I don't want Badlands. I want Pale Garden. Very small detail. Practically can't even see some of it, but you know what? That's fine. Because leaf litter in a pale oak biome becomes gray. I don't know if this would actually stay that way, but it might. I would have to ask Legs, but yeah. And then what I'm wondering, if I put this up here, will this be gray? Or is it still green? Oh, it's still green. I was really hoping these particles would be gray. If it was in a pale oak biome, had the particles be a gray texture. Because if it was gray, that would look great in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Little sad, a little bit of sadness. Basalt Delta, hold on. You might be onto something there, chat. Because there are the gray particles. Oh. Okay. So we are in a basalt delta. But we're not getting the particles. Maybe. Hmm. Nope. Have fog by default? No. Yeah, no, it's... It doesn't work, no. I thought you were... A bomb chain? I was wondering about biome stuff specifically for pale. Um, the pale garden, because the pale garden creates all leaves to be gray. And so I was wondering if that also meant the particles that it creates. If you put like if you put a spore blossom. That's what I was trying to figure out. All right. Actually, because from what I, which is gonna, no, you would be able to. I believe you'd be able to specifically because of the fact that each biome is like 100 blocks away from each other, or each hideout is 100 blocks away from each other. And with Minecraft's new coding stuff, like if I go into the biome painter, right, you see all these different little like sections. It's how Minecraft biomes are designed. So you can have one specific area just be a biome. It's like how, if I go to F3, this is Cherry Grove, we're now in Plains, back in the Cherry, back in the Snowy Peaks, Frozen Peaks, Basalt. Like, you can snow, like, all these are different biomes. It's just based off the texture of location. So anytime we're flying through a new zone, it is top left right here. Plains, river, plains, river, plains. And you can see that, like, everything is broken up in different ways. Leaves do have leaf particles, yes, but they are leaf particles. And what I mean by that is if I use... They aren't like the little tiny, like, dust particles. They are actual leaves. And so they're that. And they always fall roughly in the same position. Ollie actually made a video about this on TikTok recently, where leaves are coded in a way that they always fall in the same pattern, but just differently as they spread out. So leaves, you take a bunch of them in a command block, and you spawn a bunch. This pattern makes a tornado. Would it shrink if it was smaller? Well, that I don't think would work, because you're creating a display entity, which is just an entity. Which basically means that it's not going to create anything, because it's not an actual block. It's an entity. So it's just a visual of it. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're able to do any particles unless we start involving command blocks, and at that point, I don't want to do that because, again, legs.gg is a server that involves both with Bedrock and Java, and I don't want to try to add a particle command block that just breaks someone's like a particle command that would either break someone's computer on Java because they can't run it, or Bedrock because Bedrock commands can be different from Java commands. So, unfortunately, nothing we can do besides look at nice shaders. So that was complimentary. Let's try Pegasus, because Pegasus is like a new shader I just saw. Came out like 5 months ago, it looked like, or updated 5 months ago, and I'm curious what this is gonna look. It had like, instead of realism, it had like a little bit of realistic texture to it. Ooh. Ooh, my frames are 19 right now, but ooh. Hold on. Oh, that's so cool. So light changes, it doesn't instantly go away. Yeah, this Pegasus texture is nice. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the lighting in this game I'm on 20 frames right now, but the lighting adjustment for this game is it's based off of like an aperture scale, so it's not instant. So as I walk away, like look at that, it changes the more I'm to it. Like oh 07 my computer running at a 18 frames right now, but look at that. Look at that. The if you look in the sky, it's all dark in here, but as soon as we transition, it then adjusts for brightness like you were to go in and out of an area. Because we were in basalt, so basalt changes it to this. But then when we leave a basalt biome, it's not instant. It actually adjusts and shifts the lighting. Like, look at that. Like, there are, I don't know if you can see it, there are line beams based off between the texture of the signs. There's like actual shading. There's shading and shadow between. Like, that's really nice. Like this doesn't do a lot, but it kind of implements a lot more of the shadows and a proper like visual lighting. This is why I went to the water. I wanted to see what the water texture looks like. Oh, that's so good. Like that is proper reflective water. Like that's good. That's really nice. What does my portal look like from in here? Oh, gee, it's so purple. That looks like just a pure like glass of mirrors. Like it just looks like it's just endless. Like it's not even a portal. It's just like you're walking into a room of just endless mirrors. Like it doesn't change much, but what it does change regarding the lighting and texturing is really good. Okay, shaders. Let's go to Solus shaders. I accidentally pressed the mute button. But no, this looks like Dark Souls shaders. If you look at Dark Souls texturing and color, like especially early Dark Souls, this fits that vibe so well. I love the light blue. I want to fly around Extraction with these shaders on, with Solus shaders. You know, this is great. Like Solus shaders makes things feel more saturated, and it enhances the color Like, this just feels super cybertech now all of a sudden because of how the color's reflecting off the blocks and what colors are being used. So you have like this yellow and purple tint now in here. Like, there's a proper little like bit of haze to it. And anything with like bright colors and like look at that. Because of how textured glass the solar shader is with reflections, it looks like a proper mosaic like mirror. Like there's no reflect, like you as a player is not reflected in it, but the reflection off the other blocks that it's creating, that's really cool. Solar shaders. How does it look like underwater? Underwater is always a big test. Okay, not bad. Was really hoping that we would get some light beams coming from the water. Still looks pretty. Water reflection in itself is good, and the water reflection in the water is not bad. There's some light beams when you're in the water. I was hoping for water reflection when you are below it as well, because you have the water reflection there. But like one of my favorite things was like Sus renewed shaders. Um, is the light beams that it creates off of like puddles and everything. So I really wish shaders would do that more. No, it's at a decent angle because the sun's right there. Like that is that sun. That little circle right there is the sun. It's just there's no light beam showing. But not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, solar shaders top tier. Alright, and now we gotta finish off with some spooky shaders. Spooklimetry, which I'm guessing is a version of complementary shaders. Ooh, okay. It's very... Hey, that soul lantern, yeah, gives like no light. Oh my goodness. Give me a torch. Even with a torch, it's like nothing. Like I'm walking into a horror themed room. See, it's Dark Souls themed, especially with this being the only thing that's lit. Yeah, if you don't want to see the sky, well, there you go. You're not seeing the sky with any of this. And standing shares would be the same. It definitely would. Yeah, honestly, I think out of shaders, Solaris and Complementary are just so good. Solus, kind of really nice. If you want something of lighting that like amplifies lights and color and a bit of that reflective feel, Solus is really nice, and I'm running so 43 frames right now, which is not bad for Minecraft. Hold on. What is it? MVT. Let's go to the actual world real quick. Also, I got a message. Let me just check real quick what this is on Discord. Ooh, pretty. What? Alright. Very fantasy-esque. You had to respond to something, chat. Sorry about that. But yeah. Now it's midday right now. I need to find... I want to look around and just see how this all looks. Okay, so we're at the airport right now. Honestly, the lab. We'll go to the underwater lab first, yeah. Also, we did all this off stream. I don't know if I streamed this, but we added a bit more connections here. We added a semi truck as like a loading unloading thing that it can work its way around to. Ooh, the lights are nice. With Solus on, lights are really nice. And then Shauna added a few little bits of decoration here. It's really reflective on metal blocks. Metal blocks have a really reflective coating to it. So it's going to be interesting to see all that underwater. And then Legs added a cargo plane here, as well as like some helicopters and that to just fill in the space around like the evacuation points and that type of stuff. So I then added a submarine. So there's a chest down here. You can see it a little bit down there. And then Shauna also added a eye for iron lung stuff. Also, sparkly water at night. We got glitter water. And then Shauna also added a tentacle rising from the ground up onto the lab with a mouth/eye down here. Yeah, glitter water. What does it look like in here? Okay, it's very, very it has a lot more lighting to it. It's not as dark of a hole. And some blocks, depending on what it are. Oh, because the lichen, the glow lichen. The glow lichen. Yeah, Solar Shares makes everything feel more fantasy. And so instead of having that grungy texture that lichen has, it got replaced with a bit of pattern. Now, it still feels a bit ominous in here, but because of the glow lichen and other light effects, also added the bell, it's probably because it was too long. Fosabot is a little bit long on messages, so it's finicky on what it can and cannot post. But I'm glad you're okay. All the flowers in here, though, I'll also have a bunch of luminescent to them, so they all glow, which is an interesting choice. Yeah, it doesn't look bad under here. Again, very, very fantasy core. Do ores glow? Probably. If I had a hunch, I'm guessing ores glow. Actually, oh, never mind. They didn't make ores. Okay. That is actually a choice. You make the flowers glow, but you don't make ores glow. Like that's actually really shocking. Hold on, you go somewhere. Lights glow. But yeah, none of the. Oh, okay. So diamond way, it's certain. It's certain ore. So not gold. Or oh, hold on. So coal, iron, copper, gold doesn't glow, but precious stones do. So redstone, lapis, diamond, and emerald. Huh. I It's a good compromise, so not everything is glowing, but also interesting. I want to see what the pale garden looks like with the shader on. Yeah, I wouldn't consider redstone a precious or ooh, the lighting underneath the skyline looks nice at night. Ooh, gets a little bit of ominous vibe being in a pale garden. We need to put some rocks around here. But other than that, gives that spooky vibe. If we really want to make it spooky. Running into the destroyed church temple area. And beyond that's just the broken mosaic. It really is wallpaper worthy. Like how the sky is this orange, the clouds are an orange color. Or no, sorry, the sky's an orange color, but the clouds are this blackish gray texture to them. And if you look up, they're gone, but you have to look into the horizon for it. Hold on, I am taking a screenshot of that and gonna throw that into the Discord. Hold on. Yeah, no, that's... Can I... Oh, there's a tree there. Okay, hold on. Let me... Like 32 chunks. Spooky elementary shaders in the pale oak. It's crazy. And then we're gonna take the shaders off and it's not gonna look as scary. And back to normal Minecraft. Shading with texture does such a really cool thing. Hold on. Alright, cool. Up. Resident Evil Craft, yeah. No, my fog. Yeah, like that's what we were looking at. And now it's just this. But we do need to go through here and start lining around the pale oak. This will be the last thing we do today also. Lining around the pale oak with rocks that I've built here. So I'll probably do this for like 30 minutes or so. And then call it there for today. It feels like a longer stream time-wise, but it's not. It's just because I started like 30 minutes late. So... we need to do this, though. And y'all get to see the fun process, because I actually haven't built anything else on like .gg that y'all haven't seen, so what I do is I just copy that. I don't make it into a blueprint, I just add it to the clipboard. But single indifferent. It is stream. It is very cozy. Yeah. Hold on. We can make it a bit more. We can make it more cozy. Let's switch to lo-fi radio. There you go, chat. Everyone that is possibly falling asleep is most likely going to fall asleep. Right. So we need to just like run through here. And like where there's a place to put a rock, we put a rock. And then we just level it like that. That's all we gotta do. Like, we're not trying to add too many different things. We just kind of want to fly around. If we feel like a rock can go here to break sight lines, that's what we do. It's pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. And then we just fill in the rest. You know, I've been enjoying streams that are just chill chat. It's been nice just to vibe and talk about whatever. Gobble. There we go. But yeah, again, trying to... just break this up a little. I'll put another rock here. But yeah, we just fly on through, fly around, place rocks around, and go from there. Again, I'm not trying to place the same rock nearby everything. All I'm mainly trying to do is just space it out enough just to feel like if there's any big open gaps, it kind of gets replaced with other stuff. So I can put another rock there. This one I want to keep kind of open just because it gives you the sightline of that, but we can put a rock here though. Up, and I crushed a chicken. Welp. Anyways, let me just pick those up. Nothing happened. It's fine. We're all good. To be fair, the chicken walked into that one, because I just was placing this down. It could have walked a different direction. And again, want to not block this off too much, but I can put a rock here. The pale oak has probably been the biggest thing to work on right now so far on the server. Just because this has been just a full revamp of this entire corner of the map. So it's from like that circle all the way to that circle. It's this whole corner. When it comes to Minecraft mobs. And so it's been a lot of just trying to fix it. Also, it didn't help that a lot of the trees, because how they were copy and pasted of being built, unfortunately just didn't get placed down correctly. So we had to go through and add all the bottoms to all these trees. Which was a lot. Cannot lie. That was a lot to do. The root of the problem. Clever. It was definitely time consuming. Definitely needed. Needed a lot more work than what it was. Also, to help that last night. Again, if you've never been in a Lagundo stream, a late night Lagundo stream, especially when it's building, it gets very, very chaotic and it gets very funny really fast. And so things just get derailed, but also we still get stuff done. And so, like... Well, that's 2 for 2 now. Anyways... Look, I'm just placing them down. I'm not looking where I'm placing them. I'm just slapping it down and calling it good. But things happen, especially when Cinna is around, and also because of how Cinna is, it gets very funny and very chaotic. Hey, you called out what the pig's name was. That's on you. Um, but yeah, no. So like, well, what was one thing? Basically, Lex kept calling Cinna Shauna, which turned to a very very comedic moment. Uh, where jokingly Legs basically just got canceled. He didn't really, but it was very funny to watch. Primarily got canceled by Shauna. And it wasn't like a one-time thing. Legs kept doing it. It was like at least minimum five times that it happened. And so, anytime everyone's like chaos is happening, right? I'm just staying quiet and building, right? And my whole and anytime someone's like, "Abolish, you good? You all right over there?" And I'm like, "I'm just staying quiet. I know where I need to be right now, and I'm just staying quiet." That was my response. If I don't speak, I don't have to worry about this. I was using my common sense to stay silent. That's what I was doing. We can put different rocks here. I feel like. Let's see. We didn't currently put any. We can put a rock here though. We can put like a rock on the edge there, and then like a rock there. And then you know what? Why not just rock? Actually, hold on. From this space here, we'll put a rock here. There we go. No, it's if I don't speak, I know I won't get in trouble. You want to put a rock there? Yeah, no, it was very silly, very very silly. And then Nature came into VC at one point, and Nature pulls out their Ace of Spades Nerf blaster that doesn't use springs; it used like an actual powered. And so anytime Nature was disagreeing and saying no, you just hear the wind up of the blaster just getting ready. This was last night. This was entirely last night. You know, you would get the idea of just hearing yeah no, and then all of a sudden wind up charge noise of blaster sound getting used in the background. If you want basically the entire context, literally it's towards the end of Lagoon. It's always like the last few hours of Lagundo stream. You just watch that moment there, and you will see everything that I'm talking about. If you just watch that like 2 hours or so. Alright, we made basically a full circle around here. I now need to go do another layer. Yeah, 1 a.m. I think it was like to 2 a.m. almost for Legs this stream. It was like before Legs called it. I want to put these around. Wrong button. Yeah, like it's about like a 2 to 3 hour thing maybe. It just depends on how long Legs is going for. Enter copy, stamp tool, single intermediate. All right, cool. All right, chat. And now what we do here is we basically just fly around all over again and just look for open spots that we didn't place a rock down, and we go rock here and there. That's it. Like the entire goal of this, right, is to just break line of sight. It's so that when you look down a straightaway, you're not looking so far when you're running around that you can see like things on the other side of the map already. That's the entire goal, is to kind of just break LOS, line of sight, between the different structures. Hope I accidentally went by Control Z too far back. Did I? No, I didn't. We're good. Well, I did. I forgot to place one here. Oh, I see. It's got it. Cool. Yeah, so we're just chucking rocks everywhere. So if we're running around, like this for example, this is fine being open, but right here shouldn't be open. So we'll just plop a rock down right there. Like, you can have open spaces being in certain parts because you want to still be able to see structures. You don't want everything to only be covered by rocks and trees. You still need some open areas that allow you to be able to see the sky, see structures that are open. Me eyeing the chicken. And being able to like fly around. It's just spots like this where there's not really much anything here right now. I can be basically like, all right, let's put a rock there and a rock there. And now we have this big boulder here that kind of gives you cover from the area. But then also makes it like just a good little vantage point of being like, okay, I need to get up here. And then trying to like figure out ways to like, oh, maybe a player figures out how to climb up onto the top of the tree here. Right? Like it's these different things that allow players to kind of get high elevation, try to see if they can like, oh look, imagine a player, for example, right, is running this direction, can maybe sees that, but isn't too sure if that's the church they want to get to. They can jump up here and it's like, oh look, they can actually see that is the direction for where the church is, and so then they can run this direction. Right? It's just we want to make sure that certain that not everything feels like we can have open space, but we also don't want it to just feel entirely empty, if that makes sense. We also need to put grass in that around here. We need to get a grass brush and just paint grass over some areas just to make it feel a bit more, but that can be for a later day. Right now, it's rocks. Like, we just want to put a rock there. We can put rock there to a rock there. And again, just flattening out this to kind of blend together so it's not as like sheer of a cutoff. So I need to put trees like that kind of zipper almost in a way, zigzag back and forth like we did over here in the swamp. Bushes can work as well. Legs was putting down some like foliage and that of just bushes, but like bigger areas, just filling them with stuff that kind of allows just breaking up line of sight pretty much. So like here, putting a rock there. Doesn't even, like, you can still see all the way down there, but this kind of breaks up that a little bit to where it's now your main focus is here, not all the way down there, right? And so that's why. And you don't want to put them everywhere because then it just gets really cluttered. You want to space them out a good amount. But just enough to where it feels unique. Like here, there's no rock here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to place a rock here, then place a rock there, and place a rock there. And now I got this, like, semi-rock wall that I'm actually going to break up a little bit. And have, like, this little pathway. Where's some moss? There it is. And then I can do this with it as well. Right, so like, even though there's now this big structure here, it's not entirely only the structure, because this blocks this way, but if you're trying to run this way, you can now also run through here. And it just gives that little bit of, like, evading that you can do. We could make an archway, but I don't think it's really needed. Again, from flying up to here, it's just rock formation. And the main thing is just trying to get it separate enough. And like over here, probably adding some leaves as decoration, right, with some grass would be helpful. Because you don't need to put a rock everywhere. But just having a little bit of leaf foliage and clutter, and this is where you could add like the leaf litter. But just that alone already helps, and then I can put a rock here. Right, like... It doesn't need to be a lot, and it doesn't need, everything. But from when it was just barren, now to having something like this, feels intentional. And so if we put leaves and grass in that, then it helps out a lot more. I want to see if I can... Yeah, something like this. So it's a little bit lower on the height elevation. But then just put in a bit more of the leaves here. Just something like that. And then if we add grass and leaves around here, that works. There's also this here, which I want to just... I'm just going to put rocks up here instead. And it's just a natural area, and because now we have this little bit of an on-coving here, I can then timely add a campfire. take a shovel. Actually, can I just put it out with my hand? I can. And I can just get a chest. And I can put a chest there. With like a hive. So like someone was once here. And they had a little bit of cover from the environment and such. And it tells a nice little story. Because we have all this flat up here. Which probably should take a tree and just put a tree up here with a rock or something. But it allows just difference. Like makeshift bed. Hay's too bright of a color, unfortunately. Because I think hay... Yeah, hay's going to be too bright of a color. But I can just take some carpet. And be like... sleeping bag. I think that works. Again, really trying to just make this feel intentional and not just randomly placed. So just something like that. And again, needing a lot of grass. Like, grass in itself, just placing... If I get bone meal, right? And I come through here with just a bunch of grass. And I take some leaves, and then I scatter a few leaves around. And then I break up a lot of the opened eye blossoms. Can keep a few, but not a lot, because I don't want you don't want a lot of light, because then it looks way more whimsical forest, and we're wanting a bit more ominousness to it. So having the few is fine, but you don't want a lot. You want maybe 1 to 2 in like a big space. But we do this, right? And look at that. That looks way better by itself. Instead of just being flat like this. And that's why being able to just add a few leaves here and there, nothing too crazy, and then a lot of grass helps out a lot. But again, this is why we'll do this later on, because I have to cover this entire thing of grass. Which I don't want to do that by myself, because that would be boring. And so that's why I'm doing rocks instead. Alright, we're good there, we're good there. Like, there needs to be a rock here. Yep. One rock right there. Perfect, actually. Oh, definitely need a rock right here. Actually, can we... Because there's that rock there. I feel like... I need like a flat rock. I need one rock that's low. There we go. Like, I don't need a big rock, I need a small flat rock. And luckily the game provided. And then take some leaves, cover it with a few bit of leaves. Awesome. Can I feel like can I get another flat rock here? Yes, I can. Thank you, game. I can then cover this with leaves. That there. The game occasionally provides, yeah, it's only when you want to go for really good endgame loot. That's the only time the game doesn't provide is when you want a rare item in a video game. But if it's something not too big of an issue, it's fine. Sandwich Lord Raiders, welcome on in, Sandwich Lord Raiders. We're just building on extraction right now. We were doing some parkour earlier today. But this, welcome on in, is Extraction, which is a game that Lagundo is working on right now for Season 2. It's a huge, massive world, where it's basically a game like Arc Raiders, if you've played that recently, where you go in like a 20 to 30 minute timer, grab loot, and then try to exit. Oh, building is going? Yep. All good. If you needed to raid and dash, that is absolutely okay. Thank you again for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Yeah, go get your water. But yeah, so this is what we're doing right now. Is we're filling in everything. I placed a bunch of trees last night. I'm now placing in rocks to kind of break the line of sight around the map. But yeah, so kind of just a chill stream right now as we work on this. There we go. So we're just filling in the big empty gaps with rocks, and then we'll go back through and actually place grass in that everywhere. But for the time being, places just need more rocks. Did I crush that chicken? You were so close to getting crushed. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. See, okay, I don't know how you're gonna get out, but you figured it out. Very good. Cool. Yeah, I want to put mainly grass around here and not so much the rocks. I feel like tall grass will just be what can break line of sight. And I just break all of these open-eyed blossoms. I'll keep the one. Yeah, because just putting tall grass here already breaks LOS. If I had a smack you music on dirty. Let's see. Again, I feel like just tall grass all through here would just be better. Like tall grass with a bit of short grass in between. And then I just remove. Like, I feel like this would be good. Like, if we able to just put grass everywhere instead. And then, like, here, rock. Okay, there. Need another rock. Can I get a... That one works. I want to keep line of sight of here open, so I'm just going to put grass down. And if legs and them want to block line of sight for that, they can. Okay, do that here. There we go. Yeah, because that just looks fine. Like, just having tall grass instead of... Like, that looks good. There's a rock there. Here can have a rock. We'll go rock and then rock. Cool. Rock can go there with another rock. Like that. Cool. Want to keep that open. Rock there. You can put some grass there later on. Again, just bone meal healer I feel like is better than placing a rock back here. It's crazy how many open-eyed flowers get spawned in from just bone mealing sometimes. Like, it's actually crazy. Also, bone mealing the moss should do that as well, because that just gives a bit of, like, height variation. Yeah, like, it breaks it up really nicely. And it feels way more organic. Alright, cool. I think that's gonna be it for now. I don't... I can put a rock here, maybe? But we have these rocks over here already. Also, that needs to... What? Oh, that's why these are... Yep. Whoever built these rocks decided they just keep them hollow, which makes no sense on why we're just having hollow blocks here. So it's very weird to, like, structure in. So I'm very confused. Yep. Luckily, I don't think normal mob spawn. It's based off of the spawners, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But at the same time, it's just... That's why everything is not hollow. That's why every other block that we've made is not hollow. But I think those rocks have been left there from last season, from season 1. So I think that's probably why. Okay, that's good. It's fine. I'll put a rock there. That's all good. Can I get a small rock here? That works. That also works. Alright, then let me take some... Nope. This. Gradient inwards. Awesome. Again, here I feel like just grass. Grass and leaves will probably be the biggest thing for over here. And then just break all of the opened eyes. That's just infinitely better. Just throwing different height variation of grass. I'm gonna leave a few more around that. But not these ones. There we go. Oh, that's floating. Good thing I caught that. Cool. Yeah, like, that just feels better. Alright, I think for now this is good. There's definitely probably, like, spaces where I can throw in a rock or two more, like here. Right, just... being able to... space out everything and just go from there. I feel like that's... fine. Like, that's good. And then put some grass all around that. Because everything else should be relatively okay. Like, a lot of grass will help a lot of this. And being able to space it out. It's just big patches of grass where we need them. But alright, chat. With that being said, we're going to call it there for today. All right. A very, very productive day today. Yeah. No bell today just because it's later stream, and so unfortunately no bell. But I think that's okay. We can't have bell all the time. Unfortunately. But we are going to raid into someone. Let's see. Now let's run the shovel. Shovel's also building. Working on some misadventure stuff. Looks like Shovel's doing some creative build and prep for misadventures, so. Slash raid into Shelby. Join on the raid chat, you can leave right on after if you need to. But thank you all again for hanging out with me today. You all have been awesome, amazing, and wonderful. I will see you all on Monday, where we will continue to most likely play some MCCI Island, then do some building, and so on and so forth, chat. But as always, thank you again for all the raids, the follows, and the subs/bits from today. I very much appreciate it. And as always, chat, abolish your regret, and I will see you all next time.